You should come over and smoke a fatty, both of you.
Oh, I got to
Do
go pick up
not come
Lucky at
over.
the
Please
airport tonight.
don't. Don't come
Oh,
over. I don't
Sorry.
want
AJ
you here. I'm
Forrest.
sorry.
No, see, that's how I would feel if I were you too.
Don't. All right, we're live on the tube. Sorry.
Hello, you too.
See, that's how I feel you too.
Ready?
My feet
I'm ready.
Tube.
Hello, you too.
Hey, hey, everybody! It's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. You know what that means? It's Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt. Welcome. I am Darby. We are going to be. Oh, there's Avery. Look at Avery there. Uh, Thanks for being here Wednesday night. We do it every week where we help you grow and scale your business whilst avoiding costly mistakes. I am from the office today because we are doing commerce over here at Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living. Slow season my ass. So we're gonna it's July over here. So we're gonna talk about Nick has been speaking over the weekend. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And then we have some cool kind of questions lined up. We're gonna be answering questions. Nick missed the dog, as you can see. So before I do want to remind you, you can head to elevatetogreatness.co. And if you're going through, if you're watching and listening to this and you're thinking at any point like, hey, I would like to learn more about this. I would maybe like to have Nick mentor me. You can always, and I'll drop it in the chat and it'll be on the, if you're listening to the podcast, you can get with me, D Wilcox at elevatetogreatness.co. So for more information on that. So all that, all that business, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's fresh from a flight from Utah that was delayed 700 times. It's Nick Lippitt.
Dude,
Utah tried to keep you.
So I was planning on landing today, swinging by a job site, having a meeting with Desmond, planning this massive pour that we have tomorrow. You know, just double checking it. Obviously, the guys know what they're doing. I'm not really worried about it, but and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get in at 1:15. There'll be plenty of time. We're gonna grab our bags. We're gonna run into the city for a minute. Dude, we walked in the door like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, you texted and said it's going to be tight, but it always is, and that's right.
Yeah, like so, dude. It was a long couple of days. I was obviously an introvert, right? So putting me in front of 60 people, 80 people, 350 people, like it's not a problem, and I love doing it, but like it mentally wears on me.
Yeah.
And when the flight got delayed today, so yesterday Belgard did this giveaway, and I really wanted one of these Belgard blankets. And so right away he's like, we're gonna give away this blanket. And I was like, you should just throw that over here. And he did. And I was like,
Nice.
well, absolutely take that thing. So I took the blanket, I laid it on the floor at the airport and passed out
Nice.
on the floor. I told Rachel, I was like, wake me up before this thing goes.
Before, not after.
Then, so we got delayed there. We got delayed at the gate. We got delayed on the tarmac. We got delayed in at the top of Denver. It sucked, but I slept a lot. And that was good. Right.
It's the most sleep you've had in a while.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, here's the other cool thing. We flew on the first United plane with Starlink.
You love your Starlink.
Dude. So I took a picture of it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, when I finally woke up for like the last 25 minutes and I realized that it had Starlink, 262 megabytes per second down and 70 up. That's faster than most people's houses.
Yeah, I mean, that's good especially for a plane.
Well, and if you're a Mileage Plus member, it's free. So like I was on Zoom, my phone was ringing.
Did you review any bids, or I mean?
I didn't have my computer on. I just did everything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But no, I was like, so Rachel and I get internet on United all the time, and most of the time it's a waste of $10. It's just a straight waste. It's just totally bullshit, right? Because like it kind of works, then it doesn't work, then it works, then it doesn't, then it does, then it doesn't, and like we always use like our flights to New York to catch up on a shitload of work, but unfortunately, 50% of the time it doesn't work 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So what does that make it? 25%?
That's the math, I think.
Yeah. So no, it was so for those of you who don't know, I went out to Utah and I flew out. Oh, that was it too. Dude, I'm so good about travel. I'm OCD about travel. And when we hired Allie, she's like, Nick, I'll take over your travel. And I was like, I don't know about that. And Anne Marie wanted to do it too. And so I booked these flights to Utah, and I remember telling Rachel we didn't want to leave at 7 a.m. On a Sunday, but we didn't want to wait till 11
Mm,
because we wanted to get settled in Park City.
yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. There's a flight at 8:50 all of a sudden. So we booked it. We get to the airport at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, you can't check your bags. You're 12 hours early. And I was so confused. And I told Rachel, I'm like, what is going on? And
Oh,
the
no.
airport was in shambles because apparently there's a government shutdown. And um and I was like, maybe this is just a computer glitch. So I go up to United and I'm like, hey, they won't let me check my bags. And I leave in an hour and 50 minutes. She's like, you leave at 8:50 p.m. I was like, you got to be shitting me. And I was like, what are we going to do? So we ended up just going on the next flight standby and we got on because our status is really high. So we were the first two people on the list. But as far as travel goes, it was absolutely chaos. And someone I just saw a comment pop up on my screen that said, you need a private jet. Like,
Gotta buy a jet.
dude, I talked about this a little bit at the event. And so one of the guys, there was this gentleman there who came up to me quite a few times. And at the end, he's like, man, you look tired. And I was like, what's going on? I'm good. And he just started talking and he asked me, he said, where are you headed? What's the goal? And I said, I want to exit the industry at $1 billion, and he was like, what did you say? And I said, yeah, like B, billion with a B, like boy. And he's like, you think it's even possible? He's like, I've been in this industry for a long time. And so we were talking and I told him, I said, one of my goals is to buy a jet. And I have this right on my counter next to my coffee machine. I've got 444 days to buy this thing. And he's like, Nick, what do you need a jet for? And I said, dude, I need to be in more places faster, right? Like, I need to be able to come to Utah the morning of the event, present at the event, go to dinner and talk to people, right? Talk about this, get back on the plane and be at another event tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I said, and then I need to speak at another event, and then I have to be able to be in front of 3 or 4 people that I mentor, right? That maybe have issues or struggling with their business and stop by their offices and then head to the next one. And like, I got to be able to move. And I can't move as fast as I need to move with United. It took me all day. Like,
Yeah, dude, that was a lot.
realistically, I mean, it's not quite, but I could have just jumped in a car this morning and been sitting at this desk by 6 p.m. Like, yes, I got to do some other things and it's more convenient than driving and so on and so on and so on. But like, I need to be more available. I need to be able to be in more places faster. And I need to be able to, like today, there was some crazy blowout fire in Thornton. Right?
Yeah.
That caused an issue with the airlines, right? Then the wind caused an issue with the airlines. Then DIA closed 2 of the 6 runways, right? And I was literally sitting on the plane thinking about it. I said, if I was in my jet right now, we would have been gone.
Yeah.
And it comes and goes as I want to come and go. Like we finished our tour at Bellegarde, and then we had 2 hours and 45 minutes just to burn. I would have been home already. And I would have been at job sites. I would have been with my team. I would have been able to do more stuff. Like, people are going to think this is absolutely crazy. I recently bought a new car, and I actually, for those of you that are on this call that were in my class yesterday, you probably won't think it's crazy. I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between all these different F-150s. I ended up buying a Lightning, right, an electric car, because I calculated how much time I would waste standing at the fuel station putting gas in my car. It was like 28 days a year that I was standing at a fuel station.
That's crazy.
Rachel's like, you're ridiculous. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like my car is full every single day. I mean, Darby, you have an electric car.
Mhm.
I go in the garage and I walk out the door and my truck is full every single day.
Yeah.
And when I come back, I just plug it back in and it's full again. My truck fills while I'm doing other things, right? Like they could be like, oh yeah, well, you could be working when you're standing at the gas pump, but you really can't.
Not really.
And then you got to stop and then you got to find one. And then, you got to sit there and then a gajillion people ask you a question, like I don't know, you get to the gas pump and the guy across from you is like, hey man, what are you doing? Right. It's just chit chat, blah, blah, blah. I don't have time for that nonsense.
That's when I smoke my cigarettes. Anyway. So
yeah, of course. I just roast them. And then I usually throw them right at the pump, right?
That's right. Click.
So I don't know. For me, like I ask this question in every single interview. So we have this cool interview process, and I'm a part of the back half of it. And I have one question I ask everybody: what's more important to you, time or money? And there's no right or wrong answer. There's my answer, right? And for me, it's time, right? More time will make me more money. I can't get my time back. The 2.5 hours I wasted sitting on that plane today, I can't get back, no matter what. The $100 that we spent to upgrade to first class, I'll get it back, right? I'll get it back by just using the time in that seat to do work. Did you close that deal, by the way?
Yeah, he's going to move some money around. He's going to pay on Monday.
505?
516.
516.
516.
And it's going up.
And it's going
Let's
up.
go. It's
He added stuff.
it's another Thursday pool too, right?
A bit.
That's really other things that I can't talk about yet. I'm gonna officially announce it. Some people on this call know. I'm gonna officially announce it on March 9th. If they want me to or not, too bad. It's coming. Just look at the faces on the cameras there, you'll know exactly what's going
Let's go.
on.
This is what I wanted.
Dude, so guess what I said yesterday in my last class of the day? We were talking. Someone asked me a question about, I don't know, people or alignment or something, and I said, "Listen, man, I'm going to tell you what just happened." I said, literally 30 seconds before I walked on stage, one of my project managers quit, and I was like, "Oh well, I'll find somebody better." Right? Like, again, and it's not to put other people down or people who are exiting down or people that we fire down, but every single time someone goes, someone better comes, because I know what I'm looking for, right? It's not them, it's me, right? Like I have a more clear and a better vision of what I want them to do, how I want them to do it, right? Like a lot of times we develop these positions, and the first time you develop it, you don't even know what the hell you want,
Right.
And so back to a little bit, I guess, of the coaching pitch, and where it's so valuable. If you guys are looking to grow and scale your business through people, you don't know what you want, you don't know how to hire them, you don't know what the job description looks like. I do. Rachel does, Darby does, Nick does.
Yep.
The team does. We're developing Joseph's team right now, and it's awesome. And he doesn't even have to, like, yes, he thinks about it and he gives us a lot of feedback. However, he's like, Nick, I want to hire this position. What does it look like? And we're like, they need to do this. And he's like, shit, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
But we have the position, right? We've developed the position. So, yeah, Utah was good, man. It was really good. There's some great people out there. As much as I know you hate Utah.
No, it's just that I'm from there. So,
I think it's changing though.
it's not. No, it isn't, but that's fine.
Yeah,
There are a lot of great things about Utah, for sure.
we had a great day. We had a really good day. I got strip search at security.
Well, that might be a positive. I don't know.
Hopefully they didn't find those sex toys that him and Steve were hanging out with over the last couple of days. No, it's so the first day Rachel and I got settled, and dude, Park City's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
And we stayed at the Waldorf, which that certainly doesn't suck, right? It's cool.
No.
And then we had a meeting with Daniel that night for a couple of hours. Like he just came over and we sat at the restaurant bar and had a cocktail and a dessert and just chatted for a bit. And then we spent the entire day with Prime Landscape on Monday. On Monday, and we got to see some of their operations. We got to meet with their team. And then, dude, it was so crazy. At 4:30 or 5 o'clock, like the day is kind of winding down, all of a sudden something ticked. And like next thing I look around, it's me, him, and his team, and Rachel, and we're all surrounded by the conference table, and we have all this stuff up on the board. We stayed at his office till like 8:15. We were one thing after another after another.
Yeah.
So this girl that they hired as an estimator. I was sitting at the conference table. We were kind of killing time, and I just happened to turn over, and I was like looking over her shoulder, and I was like, "What the fuck is she doing?" Right? She was building stuff in Aspire, and I could kind of see what was going on, and I just took my chair and like rolled over to her, and I said, "Hey, explain to me what you're doing here." And she got real nervous, and So I told her, I said, hey, you don't need to be nervous. Like I'm here to help you, not to tell Daniel you don't know what's going on. And so she walked me through the whole thing. And I said, have you ever thought about doing this or that? And she's like, no. And then there's like a senior estimator that was sitting next to her. And he's like, what did you just say? And so I started talking to him. And then I started talking to him about kits. And he's like, yeah, we're not really building kits right now because it takes too much time. I said, how many times do you bid a tree on these jobs? And he's like,
Right.
I don't know, 60 times a day. And I said, what do you do? And he's like, well, I put in the tree and this and this and this every time. I said, you don't think if you took 15 minutes to build the kit and then just copied and pasted it and pulled it down, like it would save you more time in the long run?
Oh my
And
God.
he's like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. So then I showed him the pool kit. And then his controller came over and we opened up Know Your Numbers and we showed him that. We went page by page by page and he was mind blown. And he's like, what does it take to get access to this thing? Right. And he's like, can you build our budgets or can you help with this? And then, I think it was just a good time. Like I a lot and, you know, we connect beyond just like a coach type situation.
For sure.
His team's actually coming out here for 2 weeks. He's
Daniels?
Yeah, he's paying them for him to
Okay.
come out here and their place. And they're going to work with Victor for 2 straight weeks.
Well, that's a good person to work with.
We're going to teach him how to build pools from start to finish. So yeah, so we did that. And then, we didn't leave Park City till, I don't know, 10:15, rolled in the hotel at midnight, still had to finish a couple of slides, still had to do the, material list in the morning. So yesterday we started pretty early. We did stay at the event, which was nice. There was like a hotel attached to the convention center.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, we went downstairs and I blinked twice and the day was over.
Yeah.
But it was cool to just to take it all in. And at the end, I was working inside of the big room at one of the big tables. And the Bellegarde guy came in and he's like, dude, you're crazy. I said, what do you mean? He's like, you're one of the first ones here. You're the last one here. You're still here. He's like, most of my team is gone. And I was like, yeah, I had a houseboat thing yesterday. And I was like, I just have some more work I got to keep doing. And he's like, it never ends for you, does it? And I said, no, but I like that. Right. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's like, that's good. If I didn't have work, that'd be bad. So
Yeah, I don't know what you would do.
controlled chaos, we call it.
Yeah.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah.
So
Hey, it is Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt. I'm breaking in. Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt. We do it every Wednesday, 6:00. You can check the podcast the day after on Spotify and your podcast places. Head to elevatetogreatness.co for more information about what we do here and about the event that we're going to have coming up. I put the link in the chat if you are on the live call, and we'll make sure that it's in the description of the podcast as well. So back to it.
Yeah, so we'll get into it here in just 2 seconds. But for those that are new, I also wanted to tell you that I think a lot of people were surprised yesterday that we had a podcast, right? So the fact that every single one of these calls for the last 2.5 years has been recorded and spun into a podcast. Check the titles, right? There's some really, really, really good specific title stuff. So depending on what you're looking for. Also, here in a second, I'll post in the chat meeting or I'll get it to Rachel and Rachel can post it. Darby, on the way to Utah, I re-listened to the first podcast I ever recorded.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy to think about what I was saying and then just experience where we're at today.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we should put that in the chat box here so everybody can click on it and listen to it later. But
Okay.
it's fun. Dude, it was 3 years ago and I talk about where we're headed and what's going on. And then you listen to it and you're like, man, this is why we're so heavy in goals, right? You put your goals on paper and then they just start coming to life. And I basically said, this is what I'm going to do. And then it started coming to life. So it was good. It was really good, but I'm glad to be back and I'm glad to be in the grind. Does this deal close before Friday?
I'm hoping so. It might not be till Monday.
Bullshit.
So,
hey, what do you do? What about this? Darby, just get it signed.
yeah, I'll get it signed. I'll get it signed for sure.
I mean, if it's signed and it funds on Monday, you know?
Yeah.
I still think it's February. I
I
mean,
mean,
if it was one of Avery's old deals, if the guy gave him a verbal commitment, it'd be in this month, even if they didn't pay until July.
it's like old times.
Just like old times.
Just like old times.
Um,
Oh man.
yeah, so I'm gonna find this really quick. But what's on the agenda today?
We have questions. We've been compiling questions from people, and so we're just going to kind of go. We're going to go through and ask and answer a bunch of questions. And if you're on the call and you want to add some to the chat, we can answer those. We can answer those as well. Okay, so we just got the. Okay, so there's the link for the original podcast, and I'll put that in the chat now too. The OG podcast, but we do have we have some questions that people have been asking, and they've been kind of asking them over time, and we've been meaning to kind of do one of these Q&As for a minute, but we were doing, the last couple of weeks we did we talked about pricing and things like that, and those always go longer because there's so many questions on those. So we do have many questions about the kind of the core of what we do at Elevate, which is how to grow and scale your outdoor living business. So those are some kind of things we're going to talk about. And I see a lot of these questions that, are some questions that you get asked fairly often, but they're all super legit questions, especially knowing that we have a lot of new faces with us this week from some of the people that you met out there in my homeland, the motherland, my motherland. So,
I love Utah.
yeah, I mean, my mom still lives there. So that's cool. That's cool. Do you want to start on these questions? Do you want me to just?
Well, so this is what I think we should do because we've compiled these things, so we'll roll them. However, if people are in this room tonight and they want to put their own questions in the chat box, we'll prioritize the questions coming through the chat box
for sure,
and then we'll use all these other ones as fillers, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Joseph's already in there.
I don't know who we asked.
This has been from people from Heartbeat. So we have the Heartbeat community. So people have been asking questions in there. These were some questions from some people that were at our last event. So these are and people that have just been on the call. And sometimes we get too many questions during a call and we can't get to all of them. So Allie's kind of logged them for us. And so this is kind of like a master list of questions that we've been receiving over time. So I do.
Okay. Super rapid fire depending on the length of them. I think some of these will probably apply with you too, Darby. So like we can talk about them back and forth.
Yeah. We'll start with Joseph because he did again. If you're on the call and you type it in the chat, we will get to that one before the ones on the list here. But Joseph has a good one, I think, is what is the biggest bottleneck you experienced growing Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living? Good one, Joseph.
I mean, I think, damn, there's a bunch. I mean, I think one of them is it's a constant bottleneck and shit. I'm going to tell you a couple different things here, right? And I talked about this actually yesterday at Elevate at Bellegarde. So right halfway through the day, they stopped all the education stuff and then we did like a panel conversation. Yeah. And a similar kind of question came up, but it wasn't exactly this. I will tell you that one of the biggest bottlenecks inside of Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living was me just getting out of the way, right? Me just realizing that allowing my team to do the things that they need to do is going to scale my business faster. And so there's still times when I have that, right? I'm like, oh, it's just easier for me to do it on my own, but it's not, right? And just like that estimator, when he said, Nick, it takes too long for me to write that kit, right? It takes too long. Someone asked me this actually yesterday too. They're like, oh, it takes me too long to train that person. No, it takes you too long to not train that person,
right? To
turn around and then do that thing multiple times. Like you have to get out of your own way and you have to give up some of the responsibilities. And I would tell you, you give up 100% of the position when somebody can do it 80% of the way, I think as the business owner, you're probably, well, not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, you're the best person in that position, right?
Yeah.
And so like, dude, the number one salesperson for Cardone Ventures is Brandon Dawson. Just is what it is, right? The number one salesperson for Elevate to Greatness is Nick Lippitt because people want to talk to me, right? And
Of
like,
course.
like you talk with a lot of these people, and then sometimes I just pick up the phone and I'm like, bro, where the fuck are you at? You in or you out?
Yes.
Like Daniel, when I was in Utah today, when I was leaving, he's like, bro, we're in. And I said, all right, well, let's start next week. And he's like, no, I want to start between now and Friday. And I was like, okay, fine, we'll figure it out. Let me talk
Yeah.
to Katie and let me see what we can do. But, you know, sometimes, I remember when I was doing stuff with CV, like if I talked to Brandon, he had a better opportunity of pushing me over the edge, like, um, dude, I could sell a swimming pool with my eyes closed.
Oh no.
However, me being in the field selling swimming pools is not going to scale my business. Could I sell a couple deals that you don't sell? Maybe, probably,
Probably.
but it
Yes.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yes.
does the knowledge I have of actually building a pool potentially elevate the ability to sell them? Like, so Darby, if you're selling against a smaller business owner who can describe building that pool from start to finish, he might have a little bit of an upper hand from a knowledge standpoint.
Sure.
However, he does not have an upper hand in the fact that, we use this to our advantage all the time. Like, if someone were to like get hit by a car, right, and couldn't do business for 60 days, and the guy who sold you the pool also builds you the pool, what happens?
Right.
You have no pool for 60 straight days, and so like with our business goes on,
Yeah, it does.
somebody told me yesterday that they're going to exit the business. Okay. Business goes on.
Get out the way.
Like, it doesn't even matter. And to be honest, the experience of the clients coming is just going to elevate, So
Yeah.
I think there was a few things I wanted to say here, but I don't. The biggest bottleneck was me understanding when it was time for me to get the hell out of the way and just let my team do what they do. And now it's awesome to see because I am stepping back into a couple of areas. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know we did that. I didn't know we did that. Aspire just gave me homework and he's like, Nick, it's going to take you a while and our next call's in 2 weeks. So get it started. So I opened up, started doing it. And Rachel's like, Nick, that's already done. I said, what? She's like, well, we went through that like a year ago, and I didn't know that. And, we probably need to clean it up and fine tune it a little bit, but the process had already been started. I don't know how to use the Gantt charts in Aspire. Like the team uses them. I have no idea.
Right.
Like me getting out of the way allowed them to grow into that position well beyond what I was ever capable of doing because I would have way too much shit on my plate. Way too much.
Can
It's
I
a
add
hard thing to
something?
give up, though.
Yeah.
Was that a yes to me or to Darby?
No,
It's a
you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I do think in that as well, because we know some people who wanted to delegate too soon. And then they started like giving away responsibilities that shouldn't have been given away. And then they lost control too soon, I guess. Or they really delegated to people who weren't qualified for that position. And so
You need to either understand the position that you're delegating or you need to hire somebody who does.
Right.
And like if it's an elevate type business or not, like we hired a controller. Guess how many controllers I've trained? 0. Guess how many controllers I've hired? 0, right? The company we hired to coach us, we also hired them to hire our controller or hire us or help us through the process because we didn't know what we didn't know. Now we can do it. We went through tons of interviews and understood the offer process and all of that kind of stuff. But um, like I think there's a lot of people who start these businesses and they're like, yep, I'm going to hire this position and that position and this position and that position. And I don't even understand how those positions run. And I don't know how to train them. And I don't know what their responsibilities are, but this is what we're going to do. Right. I just had a call with Avery before this call. We were talking about, a little bit about his own. Well, no, this was a couple days ago about kind of doing his own thing. And I just said, listen, man, like you have a ton of talent on a bunch of these things. However, when the guys are actually building, when you show up on site, you don't know if they're cutting corners or not. And that's a big one, right? Like when I show up on site, I know exactly what the guys are doing, right? I don't do it anymore. I haven't had a shovel in my hands in a long ass time, but if I had to, I'd be more than happy to do it.
You are willing to, though. You're always willing to.
Yeah.
So I think
No,
that's
I am.
another thing is like, the home show jumping jets needed an adjustment. You crawled in there and did it. You could
Well,
have had someone else do it, but you did it. So I mean, that's the
sometimes you
other
just
thing
got to do
too.
what you got to do.
Right, but
You got to be prepared to just get shit done.
that's that balance she's kind of talking about too, though. You give it just because you've given it up doesn't mean you don't have to get in there and get your ass dirty sometimes and still do it. So I think that's something that we've always, one of the things we've always respected about you is like you'll get in the pool, you'll get the scuba gear on, you'll do the stuff still if need be. So
Yeah.
I think that's the balance, and that speaks to what you were talking about, Avery, being able to know how to do that. So I think that's huge. So get the scuba gear on, Avery. Get the scuba gear on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I left my scuba gear in Greeley like 3 weeks ago. I hope it's still there. I hope someone turned off the little compressor though. Otherwise, it's still pumping air in the pipe.
It's still going. It's still going. We have another one here, and I think Cody should read his own question. I think Cody's on. Cody, you can introduce yourself to us, and then you can ask your question to Nick. That'll be better than me doing it. So tell us about yourself, where you're from, name your business, all that.
Hey, I'm Cody. I'm from Utah. My company is CPR Services. We're a full service landscape maintenance company, and we're delving more into the outdoor living spaces this
Nice.
year. And yesterday at the event, Nick had brought up that you shouldn't do anything until you're qualified to do that. And he brought up how people were saying, I want to do $100,000 jobs, but like, why do they want to do those jobs? And my question is, at what point in scaling your business do you know, or do you determine to take projects on to gain more experience and to move forward?
It's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Welcome, Cody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Cody. Good to see you again. So, there's some interesting thought behind this, right? Like being an entrepreneur and being a business owner means you're a risk taker. There's a bunch of people on Elevate. Could you jump on there or on Heartbeat? And then can you also just send the link to all these new people? Sorry. So I as an entrepreneur and a business owner, right, you have to take risks, but what I would tell you is like Rachel talks about it all the time. Just don't take reckless risks, right? And try to be as controlled as possible. When it comes to growing and scaling your business, if you're looking at getting in like the swimming pool industry, right, or you want to move into the carpentry side of things, or what I would tell you is don't do all of them in one shot, right? The other thing is if you want to get into some of these other bigger projects and you don't know how to do it or what to do or how to bid it, find yourself inside of a group that can, right? Obviously it could be at Elevate, but there's a bunch of them out there, right? But you need to do some homework and you really need to understand what you're doing. And I think a lot of people will go to bid these bigger projects and they get pricing from, competitors, and then they start to slap some shit together and run with it. And so when I scaled my business, I was very responsible about it and very educated. And so, someone might say, Nick, you went from 2 to 10 million or 2 to 12 million or 2 to whatever. Like at some point you had to start doing things that you may or maybe weren't qualified to do. And you're right, I wasn't, but I had a coach behind me who was, right? I had a team of people. And, in this case, I did talk quite a bit yesterday about the amount of money I paid for education. I was not qualified to hire a controller. However, we have a controller, right? Because I was surrounded by people that were qualified to do that. And so, what I would tell you, and I tell a lot of guys, what is the service you're thinking about getting into that would help you scale your business? Give me a quick example, Cody.
We're looking into doing more pavers and pools.
Okay. So perfect. So here's the answer, right? Like at some point we need to start marketing, right? And people need to start understanding that we do these things. Going to Bellegarde University is step 1, right? Going to ICPI training is step 2, right? Going to Thursday pools is step 3, right? Reaching out. And so for a lot of you guys who don't know, because a lot of you are new to the program, you can come to Colorado and work with my team. And so I don't know if Justin Anderson is on here or not, Darby. I think they're at the home show right now in Minnesota. They came out here 2 or 3 times, right? And so they brought their teams out here for 3 or 4 days at a time. And he said, Nick, I want to build pools. Where do I start? And I said, okay, I think the best bet is to start with immerse spas, right? These cocktail pools, flat bottom. They're a really good product. They come pre-plumbed. They have great support. Um, you can actually buy all the equipment sets from them already done and programmed. And like if you can dig a patio, you can put an immerse spa, right? They're flat bottom. And instead of digging 6 inches, you dig 46 inches, right? Or whatever the number be. And so coping on a swimming pool, like if you can build stairs with bull-nosed edge, then you can build coping on a swimming pool, right? If you're installing irrigation, then you can probably plumb these pools because you literally put a pipe and you attach red to red and blue to blue and yellow to yellow and you're off and running, right? And so the very first pool I installed in-house, I did that way. And so what I did is he's a coaching client. So if you're a coaching client with Elevate, you're welcome to come out here anytime, included in your program. And so like right now, Daniel Chavez from Prime Landscape is doing the same thing. He's sending his team out here for 2 weeks and they're going to watch us do everything. They're going to watch us mark the pool, dig the pool, excavate the pool, haul it away. They're going to watch like the orders, the plumbing, the set, the water fill, the backfill. They're going to watch us drill into fiberglass. And so when I made that statement, I didn't know, like I went to Thursday pool training and it's funny because I talked at their conference last year and she made a comment and said, when Rocky Mountain came here, they were very prepared and they impressed us. And I said, okay, now that we're actually a dealer, I'm going to tell you the truth. I walked into your office. I never built a pool in my life. Right. But I walked in, I had their install guide fully printed out. We had notes all over it. Avery and I went and we had, it was like we had pictures and we had questions and we had install guides, but I knew what an excavator was. I knew what plumbing was. Like I knew what all the stuff was. I just never did it. And so I went there and I got trained. And so it was a 1-day training. And then I went back because they had a 2-day conference. Then I started asking questions to a bunch of people in the room. Hey man, how do you do this? How do you do this? How'd you figure out your plumbing schematics? Then I flew to Michigan and I paid to go to a 2 or 3 day pool install class. And it was literally like hands-on. And so I went out there, I took 2 or 3 of my guys. The hole was already dug, asked a gajillion questions. They literally set the pool, filled the pool, backfilled the pool, plumbed the pool, and we watched every single step. And so obviously when I talk about being obsessed, like this is a big thing for me. At that point, I was obsessed with swimming pools, right? I had the install guide in my hand. I'm looking at the guide. I'm looking at what's going on. In fact, there was 2 or 3 things where I'm like, hey man, are you installing that right? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, well, the book says you're not. And he like looked at it and he was like, fuck, maybe I'm not. Right.
That's
and
about
so,
right.
And so then we came back. And the other thing I would tell you is like, if you're not exactly sure how to install pools, educate yourself on it and then go sell one, but have somebody in place that can install it for you. Right. So yesterday during the class, I knew one of the pool builders who was there, and there was a guy 2 chairs over from him that wanted to build pools. And I said, hey, that guy right next to you builds pools. I said, hey, would you build pools for him? He's like, sure, I would. I said, let me guess, you want to get all the hardscapes and stuff out of it? And he's like, yep. And I said, there you go. The 2 of you go in the hallway, connect with each other after the class. And like when the class was over, they just stayed right there. And they sat at the table and they exchanged phone numbers. And he's like, we hired a company to build our first 3 to 5. And again, like I asked a million questions. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And to be honest, I made plenty of money on him. The reason I took it in and said no more is I wanted it to be built on my timeline.
Yeah.
I built more pools in 2026 already than that guy built all year. We started 10 today. Darby, number 10 went in the ground today.
It's February, by the way.
Yeah.
Just to be
February
clear.
25th.
If you're listening to this
Um,
podcast later, we're talking in February about 10 swimming pools.
So it's been almost 2 months. And dude, I'm ready to start another one on Monday, right? Like we're gonna probably end up in a permanent hiccup issue, but we'll be starting another one at some point next week. So we'll be on to 11. And so I would tell you, I don't want to discourage you from growing your business and scaling your business. That's not the plan, right? I want you to I want you so like Darby says, at Elevate to Greatness, we are here to help you prevent costly mistakes. And a costly mistake would be go buy a pool shell from a distributor who will sell it to you and figure it out as you're installing it. I also tell you the first time you build a pool in-house, make sure you have enough cash in the bank to do it twice. If you make a mistake in the plumbing at 4.5 feet deep and you have installed everything around the pool and you have to start pulling that shit out, it's real expensive. Real expensive. So, those are some of the things that I would recommend. Find a distributor, find a dealer. There's also training online. There's really, really good training online. I mean, we joke about it, but it's a real thing. YouTube University, right? We have videos on YouTube that show you how to install things from start to finish. And so, find a vendor. There's so much free training right now. It's nuts. Like we're looking at hiring a certain position right now, and I was having a conversation with them and I said, hey, I need you inside of free training every single day. CPS here in Colorado, which is a Heritage Corporation, which Heritage Corporation has multiple facilities in Utah. Beehive is one of them. Silver Creek is another one. They're putting on 90 trainings this year, 90, and they're free. Like Belgard University yesterday. Darby, you should have seen this event. It was amazing. I thought they did an amazing job. 365 people. They had food, they had lunch, they had 8 different classes going on at once. They did 4 different sessions. They had a contract panel board and then just the networking event after. It was free. Like, dude, that event was pretty similar to an Elevate event, right? Like it wasn't as granular and we didn't like dive as deep into the businesses, but like find yourself in the room and these rooms are free. Like you can go to Thursday Pools training. You can go to Latham's training. Keep finding yourselves inside of these rooms and then connect with good people. Like yesterday, I connected with so many good people over the last 2 days. They were all like, if you ever find yourself here, come to my business. I want to show you this. I'll show you that. Like I talked to this guy last night from Idaho. Finally, Rachel came up and she's like, I'm going to bed. It was like 11:30. And he told me, he said, Nick, I would love it if you'd come up to Idaho and see what's going on. I guess he nominated me to be on the advisory board for Belgard nationally. So there's a lot of really good people in this industry who are willing to tell you what they do and how they do it. Everybody thinks it's a secret. It's not a secret, right? Yeah, I can move you way faster than most people could move you. But you can get all of the knowledge that I have through resources, right? You just you got to be obsessed though, right? If you want to start installing pavers at a higher level or pools or whatever it be, become obsessed. And when I say obsessed, every minute you have free, you're on YouTube, you're watching videos, you're asking questions. Like, I joke around with Nick Forrest all the time. He's like, oh man, it's Saturday or Sunday. I'm like, yeah, work-life balance doesn't exist at Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living. I mean, it doesn't for me, right? But like, how much work-life balance can you have if you're trying to buy a $10 million jet in 444 days? You just can't.
Right.
Eventually I will, right? But it's not going to happen in the next year and a half. So like I'm in grind mode right now. And if you want to grow and scale your business, you need to find yourself obsessed with growing and scaling your business through whatever services you want. And every single minute, right? Like when you're going to go to bed and you're laying in bed, instead of scrolling Instagram, watch videos, watch YouTube videos, watch this, watch that. And if you're on Instagram scrolling, you should be scrolling contractors that are building spaces, not other things. We'll leave it at that. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but I didn't.
Yeah,
For
Nick
the
Forrest.
first time ever, I didn't do it. So, yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
great question though.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to talk to Darby a little bit more about how we can help you with some of that stuff, please do. Darby, tomorrow or Friday, I'd also like to sit down with you. It's time to start. It's time to start like a small group setting. I think there's a lot of guys that I can help, but they're just not in a position to be one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so I'd really like to start working on, 1-hour calls a week in a room of 5 people, right? Like, so
Yeah.
we talk about, I was telling Rachel, So our one-on-one coaching is $3,500 a month, right? It's 4 or 5 calls, but Darby, I was thinking about it. If we could get 6 or 7 people in a small room, I could really still make a difference. If it was $500 a month, it wouldn't be one-on-one, but it would be at a very small group setting where I could still make a huge impact. And the time that I give, and at a much reduced price with that many people, it's still the same value, right?
Yeah.
We still get what we need to get out of the deal, and
Let's go, Trevor. Let's go, Cody.
Trevor's back,
Well,
right? And so,
there we go.
dude, I was thinking about that, right? Like, dude, there's a lot of people that need my help. However, they're just not in a position yet to do it that way.
Right.
And so I need to provide an option to get them in a room that I can still help, right? And 99%, dude, I'll tell you right now, the guys I talked to one-on-one, I talked about the same shit with them, but in different hours. Sure,
Right.
some of them are further ahead, some of them are not. And some of them want to talk about more specific stuff. But oftentimes during the week, if I just recorded the call and then just went in Zoom and press play, it's some of it is repetitive. So
What's cool about that too is like then they become a resource to each other too, and
For
groups
sure.
like that. Kind of like when we had the event here, like there were guys that left that exchanged their information, and now they're talking to each other about stuff all the time. So that's the kind of thing that this groundswell, and it kind of just grows, and that's really cool. So I'll get with you, Trevor and Cody, but everyone can get to me, D Wilcox at elevatetogreatness.co, and you can go to elevatetogreatness.co to find out about the things we do and about the event that we do have coming up. I still think we're planning on March. Are we still doing it?
It's either late March, but maybe early to mid. So there's a few things there. Yes, Nick Forrest, it's coming. However, it might be in Utah. And yes, you guys will come with me to Utah. Maybe there's a space there, a big space there, and some others. But Buck Weiss wants to do it too. And he told me, he said, Nick, I'll promote it. We'll do all the back end systems of it.
Nice.
He wants to come for free. He wants to come and provide the value he has to whoever I can put in the room, 50 or 100 people, and he will do it for free because he wants to basically bring his services to the field. And if people are interested in what he does, then they'll work with him. I had a call with him on Friday, and Rachel's like, no way, Nick, this is real. And I just straight up asked him. I said, Buck, how much? He's like, Nick, I won't charge you a dime. You don't even have to pay for
That's
me to get
crazy.
Well, and for those of you who weren't on that call, go back.
Go back.
Podcasts. Like that call was fire.
That was gold, Jerry. Yeah, that was some great shit. That was.
And he's really big into AI right now. Really big. And so we should probably bring AI back into the conversation in the next couple of weeks. But
yeah,
yes, it is coming. Dates TBD. Yes, very soon. Yes, Nick Forrest will be a business trip, so you get to come. The space is really nice. I took some pictures of it. We just need to figure out a couple of things really quick. And here's the deal. If we quickly throw one together and we have it here and we put 25 people in the room, or we delay it 2 weeks and we put 100 people in the room, the 2-week delay is more valuable to the people who are coming. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that I've actually had a lot of conversations with Buck. We think we're going to travel. We're going to do traveling events. And here's the reason why. The event is $2,000 more affordable if I come to you instead of you coming to us. Right?
That's true.
And I have to travel with a team of 3 or 4, right? And then I have 25 or 30 people traveling to me. So we think that, Belgard threw this thing together in 3.5 or 4 weeks. There was 365 contractors in the room, and most of them were business owners. I said, like the very first class, I said, who in here is a business owner? 80% of people raised their hands.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I got distracted. We're conducting what? You sent me the text, Rachel. So it is Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt. I think we have time for one more? Because
Yeah, we have time.
we have a question from iPhone 74. iPhone 74. Who are you, iPhone 74? Tell
I
us
feel
who
like
you
we've
are.
seen that number again before.
Have we? iPhone 74? It's Ashton. Do we know Ashton? Hey,
think
Ashton.
Yeah, I think
Ashton-
I met Ashton. Yeah. I met
From
Ashton
yesterday.
in class.
Why don't you do the same thing, Ashton? Why don't you get on, tell us about yourself and demutify yourself, turn your camera on, and ask the question yourself.
Not only are we going to help you with Google Ads, we're going to help you change your name from iPhone 74 to Ashton on your
His government name is iPhone 74, but he goes by Ashton.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, man. Hey, there he is.
I'm iPhone 74.
Hey, iPhone 74.
What's up, brother?
How you guys
Ashton.
doing?
So, Ashton, can I tell the story really quick?
Yeah, tell it for sure.
So, I told Rachel, it was funny, and Ashton, you haven't heard this. Darby, I just showed up to the event, and I'm walking through the hallway, and I felt like a celebrity. I'm just walking, and Ashton's like, holy shit, I know you. And I looked over, and I'm like, you do? And he's like, I watch all your shit online.
Yeah.
I said, you do? And he's like, dude, I didn't know you were going to be here. Like, and he was so excited. And he's like, I watch all your stuff, and I get to meet you in person. And like, I have so many questions. He said, I have so many questions for you. And we talked for probably like 15 minutes before it even started. And he was like, dude, I'm coming to all your classes. I'm asking all my questions. I'm going to find you at lunch.
Yep.
Like I was there, and Ashton, like he took advantage of the fact that I was there. And it was funny. Dude, we've never talked. We never met. You've never DM'd me. And I told Rachel that you had walked away, and I was like, it's kind of what it feels like to be a celebrity, I think. And like, dude, it was awesome because that's how the day started, right? Like I was on top of the world. Like there was some guy I've never met in my life, and me being there made his day better.
Totally,
That's
man.
cool.
100% did. I was starstruck. I was just like, what the heck? Because my buddies have been showing me your stuff. I've been watching your stuff. And, you know, I was debating on like should I do it? Should I not do it? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, you know, let's, or pardon my language, screw it.
No,
Like,
you're fine. See, Darby, Utah's changed.
See, I'm from Utah, and I use that word every third word. That word is safe here, Ashton. You're good.
What
you're
part of
fine,
Utah
Ashton.
are you from, man?
I grew up in Sandy, and then I lived in Holiday before I moved.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I'm from born and raised in Holiday, so.
Okay, yeah, man. Holiday's beautiful.
Darby,
Yeah.
listen to this. Ashton, how many people are in the group that you're in? Your little contractor network, like about how many you told me?
So there's like just landscapers. There's probably around like 12, 13, but in the entire group, like everyone else, including like HVAC guys and you know, different trade marketing guys, there's probably around 20, I would say.
Darby, all of them know who we are in Elevate to Greatness. I don't know any of
Yep.
them. Like he's like, Nick, we talk about you guys all the time. And we're looking at your videos, and we're talking about your videos, and we're talking about what's going on. And like I told Rachel, sometimes you sit back and you think, is it like, why do I do what I do? Nobody even watches this shit. Dude, they watch it. We just don't know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that's cool, man. It's cool to hear.
True,
I'm glad.
man. Yeah, we definitely. I was telling Nick that we pulled up some of his videos and seen his stuff during our meeting. So it's pretty good stuff, man.
Did you
That's
tell him
cool,
I was
man.
there in person?
What was that?
Did you tell him that you met me in person?
No, I haven't. But tonight, at 7:30, I'm gonna be going there tonight, and I'm gonna tell everyone. Everyone's gonna be like, "No way!" I'm gonna brag about
Nice.
it. Bro. Shove it
Well,
in
get
their
him on this
faces.
call.
Yeah, I know. I should. I seriously should. I have a buddy who his name's Jackson. He's actually the one who told me about you at first, and he does install as well. So that's the first person I'm going to tell.
He's gonna be jealous.
Yeah,
That's
right.
cool, man. That's cool.
But yeah, so I'm an install company here in Utah. We do just backyard, front yard, you know, landscape installs. And you know, I'm trying to expand my marketing this year. I feel like the best from what's worked with me has been Google. Google's just been like LSA and just organically has helped us so much. But I want to start going into like Google Ads and stuff. But it's pretty complicated, and I know you have to have a person. What would you recommend? Like, where would you recommend to find someone to help me with Google Ads, and what are your thoughts on Google Ads?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Are you trying to get to bigger jobs too?
Bigger jobs too. I had a lot of tire kickers the last year, and trying to get from like for my sweet spots like 40 to 100. Like last year, I did my first $100,000 project, but you know, realized I got humbled real quick, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, real quick, but it was like the biggest learning experience. So like, yeah, 40 to 100 is kind of my sweet spot right now.
So you might not want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you where the tire kickers are coming from.
Okay.
LSA. LSA is amazing for quick turn jobs, quick mulch cleanups, like landscape, like quick small stuff, right? We would tell you LSA is a target of 10,000 or less. Not to say you can't get a little bit bigger stuff out of that. But
Right.
if you were targeting $10,000 jobs and under and you ran them through LSA, dude, you'd kill it, right? If you wanted to do yard cleanups and mulch toppings and, annual beds and like that kind of stuff, LSA is really good for that. And it works really, 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 really fast.
Mhm.
But we don't really do much LSA. And, I would tell you that our marketing department here at Rocky Mountain is dialed. And so we could have some, we need to we could have some conversations beyond this. But what I would tell
Yep.
you is that we do have some marketing opportunities in Elevate. And so the first thing we do, or the first option that we have, is we call it a marketing audit, and we go into your system and we just audit the shit out of everything. We figure out where you're at, where you're not at, what you should be doing, what you are doing. We go through your websites, we go through Google, we go through Facebook, we go through Google My Business, we go through every single thing. It takes about a week or two, and then we provide you a marketing audit, and it's just like a full breakdown, right? Do this, do this, do that, click this button, go here, go here, go here, go there. We're close. Elevate is also rolling out a marketing agency because we have it figured out. And so if you had somebody that you had hired that you wanted to teach how to do it, we do marketing coaching calls. And so we basically teach you how to do what we do step by step. And we literally show you what buttons to click and, when to click them and how to click them and how to write content and how to write ads and how to get attention. I actually just got this feedback today. I went and recorded a new pool video 3 weeks ago, and I'll pull up the exact statistics. And I finally said to myself, like, I'm gonna stop giving a shit what people think about me, and it's crazy what it did. And so the stats are, where the hell are they? Was that with you, Rachel? Yeah, there it is. 27 of the last 38 leads that have landed in the last 3 weeks have come from this one video.
And they're not tire kickers either. They're not tire kickers at all. They're straight up. They're serious. I can tell you, Ashton, like that. I sell at Rocky Mountain. So I can tell you, and Nick Forrest can tell you that these people are not tire kickers. We're getting people who are like, we're doing this shit. We're doing it with somebody and we're serious. So it's been huge that way. Definitely.
Holy cow. From Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook. Well, it's on both, but it's Meta.
Oh, yeah. Meta, yeah.
Someone asked me yesterday, Nick, how legit is Meta? Like, can you actually get business out of it? Dude, we did $8 million off of Facebook last year.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? And so everyone's like, oh, Facebook sucks. Facebook's a waste of money. Nobody actually follows up, blah, 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 blah. No, it's you don't know how to use the system. You don't know what buttons to check. In our last event we had here in Colorado, we had someone here and he was like, oh, my Meta ads are dialed. I said, you think so? He said, yeah. I said, you willing to prove it? He said, sure. I handed him a computer. I connected it to the screen. I said, pull up your Facebook marketing ads right now. And Katie was there, our marketing gal. And I said, Katie, audit his Meta in front of everybody. So we go through very first screen, no demographics, right? They were basically marketing to the entire United States of America.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. His age group was 18 to 65. And I said, stop there, Katie. And I said, hey, bro, when's the last time you sold a swimming pool to an 18-year-old? And he's like, but I get a bunch of leads. And I'm like, who cares if they're shit?
Right.
So then we went to the next page, and it was basically household income. It was like 50,000 to $1 million. How many people with a $50,000 total household income are going to do anything that we have to offer? They're not even going to put mulch in their beds. So then we went to the next page, and a lot of people don't know Bastion, we can actually take all of your old clients and we can take their data and we can plug it into Facebook up to like 1,000 clients. And Facebook will learn who those people are. And then they will duplicate those people and they will start targeting those kind of people. Right. So like we're crazy about this. Crazy. So we take our client list and we just dump them in there and then we tell Facebook to go find us more people like that. Right. And so you guys know what kind of data Google and Facebook have, right? They know if they shop at Whole Foods, they know if they work out at Lifetime Fitness, they know if they're, some sort of um, leadership type position, in the financial world. They know how many kids they have. They know if they have grandkids. Like they know what buttons they click on every single day. And so, like when we're targeting these people, we're targeting people that are just like the people we've already done business with. The other thing that a lot of contractors don't understand. So when you initially move into Meta, you run what's called a learning campaign ad. And so basically, we don't spend a ton of money on it. We create a couple ads and we put them out in the market. And what happens is we let them learn for 30 days. And so what happens during the learning stage is someone clicks on my ad or clicks on it or stops, Facebook will ding them, right? If in a couple days they look at it again, it dings them. In a couple more days, it dings them, right? In a couple more days, it dings them and it dings them and it dings them. And then I go create a campaign and I tell the campaign to go target the top 80% of the people that hit my learning campaign. So now it takes my legit offer and it starts throwing them in front of the people who have already seen me. They already know who I am,
Wow.
right? Like if I needed to fill a room like Belgard filled a room yesterday, I would need 60 days and I could do it, right? I would put out content of me at jobs, teaching clients, doing all this stuff. I would spend 30 days and I would spend $10,000 putting it in front of contractors.
Wow.
And then I would go put out another ad and we would target only the contractors who had the most engagement in my learning ad. And then we would fill that room with 385 people, no questions asked. But people don't know that. And right. So a lot of the landscape guys, they're like, oh, Facebook's bullshit. Oh, it's just a waste of $2,000 a month, or it's a waste of this. It's only a waste because you don't know how to do it.
Right.
Like think about your clients that say it's a waste to do what you do at their house, or they don't like understand the value of what we do or why we do it. It's because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do it.
Right.
Like
With these Facebook ads, do you have to have, like, if you're trying to jump to the next level, and you say you don't have the projects like yours, like the pools and big backyards, are these ads more like, are they video driven where it's like, you have to you have to be on that big job site and then you promote it with that ad and Facebook? Like, what if you don't necessarily have those types of jobs to promote? Could you still do it on Facebook?
100%. Dude, people want to see, they want to see real raw video. They want to see who you are, right? They want it to be real. The number one performing Facebook ad we have right now is a video of me standing inside of an empty Thursday pool shell in a yard that looks like it was hit with a bomb. It's not fancy. It's not clean. It's not perfect. The audio is good. Audio is crucial, right? And sure, like we're targeting pool customers, so obviously I'm in a pool. Um, Clients love to see guys working, right? Uh, absolutely perfect, high polished pictures. Dude, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Clients see that and they just scroll because they feel like it's too good to be true. Like we post a lot of stuff of what we're doing and then we follow it up with the finished product. And so like this pool video, I didn't even really build it for the purpose in which we're using it, but Katie saw it and she's like, holy shit, we're using that. And she did. And people are like, show us pictures when we're done. Do this, do this, do this, do that. And what my
Right.
competitors don't realize, they're making it even worse. So I have a lot of hate on it right now, a lot. I guarantee you that I can have you swimming in your house in 10 days or less from the day I start. There are pool companies in Colorado that are like, don't listen to this shit. He's lying to you, blah, blah, blah. There's like 47 comments this week. You know what happens when they do that? They just keep pushing it to the top, right? Just keep pushing it to the top.
Right.
And then it gives me an opportunity to respond. Like we don't even delete these people. Like we let them do their stupid comments. And then we take their comment and we use it as an opportunity to add even more value to the ad.
Right.
Right. And so this one guy kind of came at me pretty hard yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. And I was dealing with this really quick before the event. He's like, Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living is lying. This is impossible. I've been in the industry for 25 or 30 years. You can't build a pool in 9 or 10 days. Dude, our response was genius. It was like 3 or 5 short paragraphs. And we said, we really respect the information that you have being in the industry. And we respect that the timeline in which you have been here. Right. However, because of systems and because of processes that Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living has built, we will guarantee you we can build your pool in 10 days or less, or we'll give you your money back. Also, it looks like there's an opportunity for you to elevate who you are as a business owner. Check out elevatetogreatness.com. Our founder, Nick Lippitt, runs this program, and we would love to put more revenue in your pocket and teach you how to build pools in 10 days. Dude, when clients read that, they're going to be mind blown. Right? Like I told Katie, I'm like, this guy's an idiot. He's just going to make it harder on himself because of the response that I'm going to put on here.
Right.
And so some people are like, I can't believe you're putting pools in a drought climate. One lady was like, looks like a great place for a snake to hang out. And I said, we build pools for everybody. Everybody's welcome in the swimming pools we build, right? Like, so a part of it is being clever, you know, part of it is getting people's attention. We do coach on ad content as well. Not to say Google's bad, right? So Google's different, right? We're looking at Google for SEO. We're looking at Google for some like Google AdWord type stuff. What I love about Google is that if a client finds me on Google, they specifically went to Google and searched pool builder Denver. They're a buyer. The one thing I don't love about Facebook is that my ads come across them and people are like, that's cool. I wonder how much that is. Let me fill out the ad. Right. And so we have built it out really good so people can't get past that. Like they won't be able to fill out the ad because it says, where are you located? Above ground or below ground? Are you willing to spend $100,000 or more? And if they click no, it redirects them to our website. They can't ever fill out an ad form, which means my marketing budget doesn't get wasted by their ads.
Yeah, your pre-qualification is just insane. Yeah, that's good.
So, but we can have more conversation about that. And I think there was a lot of guys yesterday that told me, they're like, Nick, I'm stuck at $1 million. I'm stuck at 2. I'm stuck at 4. I'm stuck at 700. You got to market. You'll never blow past these numbers if people don't. Grant Cardone says it the best. If they don't know you, they can't flow you, right? Like, how are you going to grow your business if the people in the Utah market don't know who you are and they can't do business with you? Word of mouth is only going to get you so big.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. I'm stuck at kind of 700, and I want to get to 2 this year, but if I don't do the right marketing, I know I won't be able to do it. Like I bought in a lot of equipment over the winter and stuff, and I'm just exploring my options, man. But yeah, I'm also using a lot of AI. I was gonna ask you this yesterday, Nick. What do you think's gonna happen with the contractor game with AI? Because nowadays, literally, I don't know if you've used AI lately with like photos and stuff, but you can take projects and you can take a photo of someone's backyard with the pool with just complete dirt, add Belgard Dimensions 12 pavers, and it completely does it. And it looks 100% real, like you did the job. Like, what do you think is going to happen with like Google and these contractors doing that and using fake photos?
So
Market.
I'll wrap it up with this question. But here's like, dude, I can see through AI all day long.
Right.
And the type of clients that you're looking to do business with can also see through it. Also, Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living has launched a podcast called Beyond the Build, and we're telling clients how to do business in this space all over North America. It's not even a pitch for Rocky Mountain. It's a pitch for you guys. And so we're telling them, I just spoke at the Garden and Home Show last weekend, and people asked me a similar question. And we talked about pictures. Right before I walked up on stage, I went online in an ad for an employee who used to work for me. Hit my page, and it was my projects. Right. And so I told clients,
That is
how to
true.
protect themselves, what they should be doing. And one of them was, hey, if you're interested in doing business with a contractor, ask them to see the project that they're promoting. Say, hey, I'd like to see that project right there. But what I would tell you is that, dude, there's some realism to them, but they're not 100% real. And
Right.
I think the right client is going to see right through it. And unfortunately, uneducated clients are going to learn some really hard lessons from it. They are. I think if you get some photos from Belgard or from, contractor group and you use them, that's okay. However, dude, you can go to photostock.com and buy, like, my very first pool ads were not my pools, right? And I coach clients to question me about what I did. However, you'll get through it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to sell value, and like, just be honest with the client, and there's a lot of clients that will give you a chance. And if you're educated and they feel comfortable with you, dude, what we do is building relationships. They asked that question about sales yesterday, and Jim moved on from it. And then I asked him if we could go back. You're not a salesperson. You're there to educate. And if your clients aren't comfortable doing business with you, it's because you haven't solved their problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said yesterday. It stayed in my head where you were like, yeah, we're not an outdoor landscaping company. We just happen to sell outdoor landscaping. We're actually more a technology-based company that is, systematically structured and everything like that. That really stuck with me.
Yep.
I like that. So
So reach out to Darby if you want to have more conversation about marketing. We can help you. And if
Yep.
worst case, like, we do have some partners that you can work with to do some marketing for you. But dude, if you're trying to get past 700 and get to 2, I can do it, no question.